Hi students, welcome to PhD Jobs and Admission. This is Gauri. So in this video, I am going to teach you about qualitative and quantitative research by using MCQs. Both of these are the most important types of research, and on these types each year you will be asking 5 to 6 MCQs in PhD entrance test. And that's why I have covered all the concepts relevant to qualitative and quantitative research in this video. So students, you need to watch this video until the end so that all of your concepts will get clear. So students, let us begin with this session. Now all of you know that Pondicherry University has PhD entrance test for all the candidates. And in this PhD entrance test, there will be two papers. Paper 1 will be for research methodology and paper 2 will be for concerned subject. And all the candidates need to score more marks in both the papers so that they can qualify the PhD entrance test. So there is 50% marks requirement to qualify the PhD entrance test. And there is also negative marking of -1 for each wrong answer. And that's why students, to secure more marks in paper 1 and paper 2, we provide research methodology complete course for paper 1 and study material for paper 2. So in this complete course, we provide you full syllabus video lectures under which theory and MCQs both lectures are available. We provide full syllabus notes and mock tests. We have 10 mock tests, and each mock test contains 40 MCQs, and that's why all the students can solve 400 MCQs in mock tests only. We provide more than 1500 MCQs revision PDF. So in each revision PDF, all the candidates can revise all the topics in a single PDF, and that's why all the candidates will get 80% MCQs from this PDF only out of 100% MCQs in the research methodology paper of PhD entrance test. So all of these study materials are available in both the languages, and those are Hindi and English. So students, if you want to buy this complete course, then candidates can either download the Global Online app from the Play Store. For that I have given the link in the description box of this video, or else they can contact me through the WhatsApp numbers. Those I have mentioned on this screen. The course fees are only 699, and in these low fees we provide guaranteed selection to all the candidates. Okay. So students, this research methodology complete course is nothing but a research methodology revision package which is really helpful to all the candidates to guaranteed qualify PhD entrance test. We have demo mock tests and demo video lectures, and those students can grab that too free of cost, and after that they can buy the complete course.
Question 1 is ethnography does not include. So from these options, which is the option which is not included in the ethnography? So basically students, ethnography is the qualitative research, because within the ethnography method we basically study the culture of a specific community or society. As well we study over here about the behaviors of the participants, how they behave, what are their characteristics within a community, what are the cultures of the community or society. Okay, and that's why in the ethnography we use some methods for the data collection. For example, we use field notes to collect the data regarding a specific a field or specific culture or society. Okay, then second one is that we also use participant observation method. Participant observation is the most used method in ethnography, and in this method basically researcher itself participates in a particular community or society, and researcher lives with the participants, and they do he or she basically do all the activities with the participants, and he or she can study the specific culture of that particular community. Okay, and the third is that value neutrality. As well we use the value neutrality kind of data collection in the ethnography. Okay, and that's why the correct answer to this question is second, that is objective analysis, because there is nothing like we do regarding objective analysis in ethnography. Basically here we do the subjective analysis, because over here we are going to study the behavior, a quality or characteristic or nature of a humans. Okay, basically, and that's why here there is only subjective analysis, not an objective analysis, and that's why the correct answer over here is 2. Okay, Next is, which one of the following is the main feature of qualitative research? Okay, so whether it is avoids positivist assumptions and data analysis, or subscribes to pre-existing categories, or collects data in numerical form, or uses the empirical method of data analysis. Okay, so basically students, first of all we need to understand what is exactly positivist approach. What is that? So basically students, step by step I will tell you what is that. So basically a positivistic approach emphasizes quantitative analysis. Okay, basically it emphasizes the quantitative analysis, okay, over the qualitative analysis. Second one is that positivistic approach subscribes to pre-existing categories. Okay, subscribes to pre-existing categories. It means that basically you have already a hypothesis, and based on that hypothesis you are going to test that hypothesis, and the meaning of this is that subscribes to pre-existing categories. Now the third characteristic of positivist approach is that it is based upon the empirical evidence, and that's why empirical evidence is gathered and analyzed over here. Okay, empirical evidence. Empirical evidence means the evidence which is based upon observations and measurements of the data. And the fourth one is it collects numerical data. It collects numerical data. So after viewing such characteristics, now you can understand that all of these characteristics are of the quantitative research, not qualitative research. Now what are the characteristics of qualitative research? Okay, so basically qualitative research believes in interpretivism paradigm. Okay, it believes in interpretivism paradigm. Okay, and it disregards positivist assumption and statistical data analysis. Basically interpretivism paradigm is based upon our intuitions or our thinking power. Okay, not the empirical evidence. Okay, and that's why the main feature of qualitative research should be that it should avoid positivist assumptions and data analysis, and it should based upon interpretivism. Okay, and that's why the correct answer over here is 1, because avoiding positivist assumptions and data analysis is one of the main feature of qualitative research. And if you observe below 3 options, then you will understand that all of these 3 options are comes under the characteristic of positivist assumptions only. Okay, and that's why the correct answer over here is 1. Okay.
Students, apart from that, we provide you Pondicherry University PhD Entrance Test 2023 paper to study material. So this study material is really helpful to the candidates so that they can score more marks in concerned subject. So in this study material, we provide full syllabus notes and MCQs. So in the MCQ section, we provide most expected MCQs and PYQs. So by the use of most expected MCQs and PYQs, all the candidates can guaranteed score more marks in paper 2, and they can qualify the PU PhD entrance test. So the subjects that I have mentioned on this screen, so on all of these subjects we provide paper to study material. So students, if you want study material for any other subject, then they can contact me through the WhatsApp numbers which are provided on this screen, or they can either comment me. Okay, the fees for paper to study material are only 999, and in these low fees we provide guaranteed selection to all the candidates. To join paper 1 and paper 2 courses, candidates can contact me through the WhatsApp numbers which I have shown on the screen.
Which of the following are the features of case study method? So whether it is appreciative or particularistic or descriptive or inductive or mechanical. So case study method is again the qualitative method in which we are going to study, or basically you can say we are going to study in detail about a specific person for a longer period of time. Okay, and that's why case study focuses on a specific case or situation, and that's why it is called as a particularistic approach. Okay, particularistic approach. The second characteristic of case study is that it is descriptive, because here we are going to study in detail about a specific person, and that's why we get the descriptive idea or descriptive characteristics or data of that particular person. The third one is that it is inductive. Inductive means that here we observe the person, we get the opinions from the person, and after that, based upon the observations and opinions, we are going to make up a theory, and this is called as the inductive approach. Again, case study method is flexible. It means that we can use various data collection methods over here. There is nothing like we will be having a fixed research design. We can use different research designs based upon the situation. Next is that it should have multiple sources of evidence. Okay, it has multiple sources of evidence. And the sixth one is that it is interpretive. Interpretive means we should interpret our results, or we should interpret the observations that we are getting, okay, at the final stage. And that's why from these characteristics, now you will understand that the correct answer to this question is second, that is B, C, D only, because case study method is particularistic, because it is based upon a specific topic only, and it is actually based upon a single special person and its characteristic. Then it is descriptive, because we are going to study in detail, and as well it is inductive, because here we are going to make up a theory, and that's why the correct answer over here is second, that is B, C, D only. In which of the following there is greater flexibility in both the methods and process of research? Okay, so whether it is ethnography and phenomenology, whether it is a descriptive survey and impact studies, experimental and observation based studies, ex post facto and historical studies. So students, in today's session we are going to talk about qualitative and quantitative research methods. And qualitative research methods basically based upon the quality or behavior of the specific person, and that's why here we are going to deeply understand the behavior of the persons in a different situations. And that's why within the qualitative research method we use different kinds of data collection methods, and we don't have a fixed research design over here. According to the situation, we will design the whole research process, and we are going to do the different data collection methods and data analysis methods. And that's why qualitative research is basically not flexible. Okay, sorry, it is basically flexible. Okay, it is flexible because here we can use any kind of data collection method, any kind of data analysis method. But in the quantitative research, exactly opposite happens, because here we already have the hypothesis, or basically here in some cases we are going to formulate the hypothesis, and we are going to test that hypothesis by using statistical techniques. And that's why here we have a fixed kind of research design, we don't have a flexibility. And according to different types of research methods, from these research options, only ethnography and phenomenology are the types of qualitative research methods, because within the ethnography we are going to study the culture, and within the phenomenology we are going to study the behavior of a person in a different environments, okay, whatever environment they are going to experience. And that's why both of these are the qualitative research methods, and that's why these have a more flexibility in terms of both the methods and process of research. And that's why the correct answer over here is 1. And from these options 2, 3, 4, all of these basically are the types of quantitative research. Okay, quantitative research, because descriptive survey, impact studies, experimental and observation based studies, ex post facto and historical studies. All of these are the types of quantitative research methods, because over here we collect the numerical data and we need to basically test the hypothesis by using the statistical techniques. Okay, and that's where there is no any kind of flexibility while doing the research. Okay, next is, which of the following methods is used in empirical researches? Okay, so within empirical researches, which from these methods the method is used? So basically empirical researches means the research approach in which we are going to be having a proper observation and as well a proper measurement of the collected data, and based upon the proper observation and measurement we will be having a strong evidence, and based on this evidence we will be having the results. So this is nothing but the empirical research. Okay, so whether we use inductive method over here, or we are going to use deductive method or initiative method or scientific method, so obviously students, the correct answer to this question is 4, that is scientific method. Because a scientific method is the method which we follow everywhere whenever we want to do the research, because within the scientific method there are lots of systematic steps, one by one steps, and we follow those steps whenever we do the research, and these steps basically based upon the empirical approaches, and that's why within the empirical researches scientific method is used. And what are inductive and deductive method? So basically within the inductive method we have the observations, and based upon the observations we will be going to formulate a theory. Okay, and what is the deductive method? So within the deductive method we are going to formulate a hypothesis, we are going to test the hypothesis by using the statistical techniques. Okay, and finally you will get the results and conclusion. So basically whenever you combine the inductive method and deductive method, then it will form the scientific method. Okay, and that's why the correct answer over here is 4. Okay, next is the quantitative research is based on. So from these options, which is the option on which quantitative research is based? So whether it is reductionism, whether it is grounded theory, or field notes, or expansionism. So basically students, what is reductionism? We will see that first of all. So basically reductionism is philosophical approach that seeks to explain complex phenomena by reducing them to their smaller, more fundamental parts. It involves breaking down complex system or concept into its constituent elements or components, with belief that understanding these smaller parts will allow for greater understanding of whole. Okay, so reductionism means that we are going to break down the complex parts into simple parts so that we can easily study them. So in the quantitative research basically we do the same. So in the quantitative research basically whatever problem we have, we are going to convert that problem into the hypothesis, and hypothesis is a straightforward statement, and we are going to test this hypothesis by using the statistical techniques, and after all we will get the results. And that's why here we are going to convert the complex problem into a simple hypothesis. Here basically we are going to do a reductionism, and that's why the correct answer to this question is 1, that is reductionism. And that's why quantitative research is based upon reductionism. Grounded theory is one of the research type of qualitative research, okay, within which we are going to formulate a theory. Field notes is the data collection method which we can use while doing the ethnography. And expansionism means that we are going to convert the simpler things into the complex things, which is exactly the opposite thing, okay, of the thing that quantitative research basically does. And that's why the correct answer over here is 1. Next is, which of the following represent the quantitative research methodology? Whether it is one-to-one interview, or survey research, or focus groups, or correlation research, or descriptive research. Now students, all of you now understood exactly what are the quantitative research methods and what are the qualitative research methods. So from these options, obviously survey research, correlation research and descriptive research are the quantitative research methodologies, because in these research processes we are going to collect the numerical data, and based upon the numerical data we are going to formulate the hypothesis, and after all we are going to test the hypothesis by using the statistical techniques, and finally we will get the results. But in the one-to-one interview, focus groups, okay, basically we are not going to do such kinds of things, and these are basically the qualitative research methodologies, not quantitative one, and that's why the correct answer to this question is second, that is BDE only. Okay, now next is, which of the below mentioned approaches fall under the quantitative approach? So what is quantitative approach? Approach means what are your perspectives while doing any kind of the thing, or what are the methods that you are going to follow. So whether it is simulation approach, or projective technique, or inferential approach, or depth interview, or experimental approach. So again the similar question have been asked over here, like question 7. But only the difference is that over here there is approach, and in the last question there was a methodology, but the meaning of both the words are same. Okay, so let us see what is simulation approach first of all. So basically it is a technique that reproduces actual events and processes under test condition, and after all we are going to test such events and processes by using the statistical techniques. And again in this basic approach or simulation approach, we are going to use the statistical techniques, and that's why here we are going to use the quantitative approach only. Okay, then next is what? Projective technique. So within the projective technique, a person analyzes his or her behavior or opinions on certain situations, and that's why here we are going to study the characteristics of the human being, how they behave, like that. And that's why here there is a qualitative approach, not quantitative. What is now inferential approach? It means survey research, where sample of the population is studied to determine its characteristics, and basis of hypothesis testing with statistical analysis is inference. Inferential approach means we are going to take out the inferences from our hypothesis testing part to the whole population, and again here there is hypothesis, there is testing of hypothesis, and that's why there is quantitative approach. Then depth interview means we are going to do a depth interview with the respondents. So face-to-face interview, and again here we are going to understand the opinions of the participants, and there is no any kind of statistical analysis or any kind of hypothesis testing part, and that's why here there is qualitative approach. And within the experimental approach, we are going to do the experiments in a controlled environment, where we are going to manipulate the independent variable and see the effects on the dependent variable. And again there are lots of statistical techniques, lots of hypothesis formulation procedures, hypothesis testing procedures, and again there is quantitative approach. Okay, and that's why the correct answer to this question is one, that is ACE only, because I have told you that simulation approach is quantitative, inferential approach is again quantitative, and experimental approach is again quantitative. And in this question exactly the quantitative approach has been asked to you, not qualitative. And projective techniques and depth interviews, both of these are the qualitative approaches, and that's why the correct answer over here is 1. Okay, which of the following sequences correctly represents the steps of research using a quantitative paradigm? Quantitative paradigm means exactly from which perspective or from which approach you are doing the research by using quantitative methodology. Okay, so in every research there are lots of sequence of steps that we need to follow, and these are nothing but the scientific methods and within the quantitative paradigm we need to follow such steps, and here these steps have been given, but we have to understand the sequence of correct steps that we need to follow. So whether it is hypothesis framing first, or hypothesis testing, or conclusions and reporting, or establishing a research question, or hypothesis framing or hypothesis testing, then generalization and conclusions and implications of result, problem identification, sample selection, developing a research design and fieldwork, defining a problem, survey of related studies, then sampling, data collection and data analysis. So here you have been asked for a quantitative paradigm, and that's why there is the collection of numerical data first of all, then there is a hypothesis, then again there is a testing of hypothesis, there is statistical analysis. So that's why we need to follow such procedures in the quantitative paradigm, and that's why your correct answer should be second, because here the first step is establishing a research problem, and this thing I have told you earlier that in any kind of a research process the first step is to identify and establish a research problem. Then your second step should be hypothesis framing, that is formulation of a hypothesis. Then your third step should be hypothesis testing. Then after the testing part you are going to generalize your results to the target population, then you will get conclusions, and after all you are going to implicate your results. Okay, and that's why the correct answer should be 2 over here. Next is, through which of the following methods of research cause and effect relationship is focused. So in these research methods, which is the research method in which cause and effect relationship is studied and focused? So whether it is historical method, whether it is experimental method, ex post facto method, or case study method. So now students, all of you understood that in the historical method basically we are going to study the past events and we are going to predict our future and present based upon the past events, and here there is no any kind of a cause and effect relationship that we are going to study. Okay, that's why this option is eliminated. In the experimental method we are going to do the study in a controlled environment. We are going to assess the relationship between the variables, that is independent and dependent, and for that we are going to manipulate the independent variable and we are going to see their effects on the dependent variable. And that's why in the experimental method only you are going to focus upon the cause and effect relationship between the variables, because here you are going to test their relationship, whether there is relationship any over there or not. And that's why the correct answer to this question is second, that is experimental method. Within the ex post facto method we are going to study the causes of the event which is already happened in the recent past. Again here you are going to see the relationship between cause and effect variables, but here you can't manipulate the variables. The variables are not in your control because the incidence is occurred in the recent past. Okay, and that's why here your focus is not upon cause and effect relationship only, but on the other things as well. Then within the case study method you are going to study detailed about a particular person regarding its specific characteristic for a longer period of time, and that's why here there is no any kind of a relationship is focused as in terms of cause and effect relationship, and that's why this is eliminated. Ex post facto method eliminated. That's why the correct answer is 2. So students, thank you for watching this session. All of you understood, I hope so, exactly what are the qualitative and quantitative research methods. So basically qualitative and quantitative research methods both are the very important concepts in research methodology, and within the qualitative and quantitative research methods subsequently there are lots of research types that we have seen in this session, like case study is the type of qualitative research method, ethnography is a type of qualitative research method, phenomenology again the same, but experimental, then survey, descriptive, all of these are the types of quantitative research methods. All of you understood, students, and that's why you need to understand all of these research methods very well. But first of all, you need to understand exactly what are the qualitative and quantitative research methods and what are their characteristics. So still, if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment box. Okay.